Hey guys, it's Ashley with Pugs and Pearls, and today we are going to be continuing on with my Declutter series. So tonight we are going to be going through all of my makeup brushes. I have purchased brushes in sets, I've purchased individual brushes, and I've gotten a ton of individual brushes that have been sent when I've been getting my Ipsy boxes over the years. So I'm excited to finally go through this. I have quite a few. I have never decluttered any of these, and I really want to get this down to a very minimal collection or manageable collection. So if you want to see what brushes I'm keeping, what brushes I'm giving away, go ahead and keep watching. We are going to get started now. Alrighty guys, so let's get started with this brush declutter. I've got a couple of different sets. I've got a lot of individual brushes. So we're going to take care of some of the bigger sets first, and then we're going to dump some of those holders, and then we're going to look at each individual brush. So first off, let's go ahead and start out with this brush roll right here. So this is actually my ColourPop brush set, and I really like it. I've only used it once. As you can see, it's a little bit dirty. The problem with lighter brushes like this is you are going to get them dirty a lot quicker. So I think that's why a lot of people prefer darker brushes. It just, you know, the makeup isn't going to show up as bad, but these are really gorgeous. I need to clean these, but I certainly am going to keep these. I love that you can actually just kind of roll this up. It has a little nice tie tab so that you can tie it. And I really bought this for travel. So this set comes from ColourPop. You can still purchase it. I will leave the link down below, but I am going to keep this because this is a great travel set. Now, the only thing I don't like about this brush set, it has a ton of great eye brushes, but it is missing a foundation brush. You have a blush brush, a highlighter brush, and a powder brush, but you don't have a good foundation brush. That is the only thing missing from this set. But if you were wondering, it's a really, really nice set. It's kind of got like light pink handles, and again, a nice kind of like rose gold ferrule. It's really, really pretty, really light. Dutch, the pug, has come to join us. Hi, Dutch. He's gonna probably knock some of this stuff down, but that's okay. So we're gonna go ahead and put this to the side. This is a keeper. Alrighty guys, the next set that I have is this really cool Spectrum brush clam set. It's really, really cute. I love how this was built, and I really, again, only used it one time, and then I didn't use it because I didn't want to get these brushes dirty, but they are so, so soft, and they come with nice little holders. I love the whole thing, and I love how these have a turquoise turquoise handle, and then like the ferrule or the brush handle here is kind of like a rose or darker rose gold, or just like a dark gold, but it comes with, again, face brushes and eye brushes, and it actually does have a flat top for foundation. Although I don't know if I really liked this one. I definitely should try this out again because I really, really do like these. So I'm actually going to take them out and use them, but I am going to keep this entire set because it's just too pretty not to keep. And again, if I didn't say, these are Spectrum brushes, and I will leave the link below to Spectrum. I don't know if you can get this exact set, but I'm sure you can find something similar. Alrighty guys, so we are getting closer to just dumping these out, but I'm going to check a few that are on the bottom here. So this one is actually a really cool brush by e.l.f. This came in one of their really nice brush sets. I do believe they still sell it, so if you're interested, I'll leave it below. It's got a really weird like textured pattern, but it is super soft. I wanted to use this as like a cheek contour, but honestly it just doesn't work. It's too big, it's not precise enough, although the brushes in this little line were really, really pretty, but I am going to declutter it because it just doesn't work for what I need it to do. Next up, I have a bunch of really nice Tarte brushes. This is one of their like really short but really dense packed brush heads where you can use their powder foundation to really buff this on. So I'm definitely going to be keeping this and using it for that. It's small, compact, and it does really work with powder foundation, and it's really, really nice. So I am keeping this one. This is another really great brush from Tarte. I am sad, but I am gonna have to let this go. Lovely handle, and again, super soft bristles. This just was something I was trying to use to do bronzer and also contour, but it's just too big for my face, and I can't do precise contouring, which is really what I like to do, or precise putting of bronzer on. So I am gonna pass this on to my friend. I'm gonna clean it and send it to her because I think she could test it out and get more use out of it, but I just don't think that it's gonna work for me anymore, and I might as well get rid of it. We've got to start really cutting my brushes down. I just have way too many. All right, so this is a little dense brush I got from Tarte. It's super tiny, has a really dense brush to it. I thought this would be good for really precise contour, but it's just too dense. So you have to kind of find something that's dense enough, thick enough, big enough, but not too dense. And this is too dense, so I am also going to be decluttering this tiny brush. Then let's see, next up we're gonna go ahead and dump some of these. Again, I have some that are in sets, so we're gonna kind of organize these and then kind of go through them per the type that they are. So let's go ahead and do that now. Alrighty guys, so let's start out mostly with bigger face brushes. So I'm just gonna start from the left and kind of go that way. So this brush is something that I found, I believe in a, in one of my like Ipsy bags. So this is from Farrah. It is really nice and really soft, but I'll be honest, it's just not one that I go to. It's not my style, but it is a nice brush. I just don't really remember it being anything special except for maybe powder, so I am going to pass this along to someone else. I do have a friend who's trying to build up their makeup collection, so I'm going to pass it on to her. Now this is another Tarte brush that I'm actually really disappointed in. It was this really pretty kind of like flamingo brush. It had this really pretty pink pattern or pink bristles, really cute. So to be honest guys, it just doesn't do it for me. It's too loose, it's not dense enough, so I am going to go ahead and clean this and pass it on to someone else, although it was really pretty. Here is another Tarte brush, you guys, that I really do, again, I think Tarte makes good brushes for the most part. This one is a miss for me though. This is a really nice denser brush. This is a little bit more of a softer brush, but I do not like dual-ended brushes. I don't like storing them, and I just did not tend to use this one, so I'm going to pass this one on as well. Now here we have a really nice, really big fluffy brush. This is a great powder brush, and this is from a company called BH Cosmetics. This is their V1. I think it's a vegan powder brush. You can buy this individually. It has like a purple ferrule and it's a gray handle. I don't exactly love these colors, but I do like BH Cosmetics and I do like this brush, so I am going to keep this one. Alrighty guys, this is part of that e.l.f. brush line that has the clear handle and the silver ferrules. Again, really nice blush brush. Powder. Really big, really fluffy. This is something that, again, if you are on a budget and you need a nice powder brush, I do recommend this one. I am going to keep it for now, but we're going to take a look at how many powder brushes I have in the end, and I may declutter it. I really like it, but I may just pass it on to someone who could use it. Very big, so it will not take long to powder your face with this. Not precise at all, but if you just need a quick application, this is a really great powder brush. Alrighty guys, this is a Wet n Wild powder brush. Again, if you are looking for a really decent, kind of cute, it's got a pink tip and a white kind of handle. If you are looking for a brush that is very affordable, this is another great powder brush. It's a lot smaller than that BH Cosmetics one or the e.l.f. one, as you can see. I mean, those are really big compared to this. So a little bit better for application if you're really trying to just do small areas. So that's the only thing I'll say about that. I do like it, but I am going to pass this on just because I have way too many others that I prefer, but this is a great drugstore option for powder. Alrighty guys, another brush from Wet n Wild. This is their flat top foundation brush. This one, again, just isn't as dense enough as I need it for foundation, so I didn't really like it for foundation, so I am going to clean this up and pass it on. Alright guys, this is a Sonia Kashuk brush. This is from Target, and I love that it comes with a covering so that you can protect your brushes. This is a really nice flat top, and the bristles are really dense. I really love this brush for foundation. It does a great job. Short, compact enough, but really helps you buff out your foundation, and it comes with, again, that nice little handle that you can actually close. I will be keeping this because it's a great foundation brush that you can get at Target. Alrighty guys, this is a kind of cool brush I picked up at iBeauty. If you remember, this was all the rage. There used to be these really famous Artiste brushes to buff in your foundation, and I tried this. It is very soft, so I do like it, but it's just not my preferred way to put on foundation, so I am going to pass on this one. Guys, this is another beautiful powder brush that I have from Ollie and Olivia. I found this at my local TJ Maxx. Really, really soft, really, really nice. Again, I am going to put this in my powder brush collection, and we might have to review those because there's just way too many, but this is a really medium-sized, nice, soft. Love the bristles on this. Super affordable from TJ Maxx. Alrighty guys, this next one is a nice BH Cosmetics. It's a 133 brush, and it's kind of like a domed brush. Now, I love this set from BH Cosmetics, but I do not use this particular brush, so I am going to clean it up and pass it on. Just because it's domed, it doesn't really, like, I just don't have a purpose for it, so I'm going to pass it on, but I do love BH Cosmetics. Very affordable brushes. Alrighty guys, so next up is my BH Cosmetics 116 brush. This was my first foundation brush, and I loved this thing so much, but it is time to let it go. It is just old, and I don't use it anymore, but if you were looking to have a starter brush for foundation, this was a great set. They have like 3 different great sets on their website. They still sell them, so I will link it below, but this is just so old and junky, I am going to toss it. Alrighty guys, so again, that e.l.f. collection, this is another like dense brush that I use to pack on foundation, but I just don't like how it applied the foundation. It's kind of a dense, firm brush, and again, it's high quality. These were good quality, but I just don't like this particular type of brush for foundation. It's too dense, but not in the way I like it for foundation, so I am going to go ahead and pass this along. Alrighty guys, this is the e.l.f. Ultimate Blending Brush, and it is, I think, a nice like starter foundation brush, but I just don't use it anymore. Again, very affordable and cheap. I'm going to go ahead and pass this off to somebody who might use it a little bit more. I just prefer flat top kabukis for foundation. Alrighty guys, this is another BH Cosmetics 114. It's kind of like an angled, not too tight, kind of loose brush. Again, I just don't tend to use this one. I think I might have used it for blush, but it's too big for me now. I like more precise brushes, so I'm going to clean it up and pass it on. This one is a Beautiful BU from Farah, and I guess I was getting a lot of brushes from them. Again, they're very soft, but it just doesn't fit with my aesthetic really, I guess, and again, I just don't use this for blush. I use other ones, so I'm going to pass this on to someone else. I've barely used it. Next up guys, I have 2 brushes from Luxie, and this is the 522 and the 660. This is the Precision Foundation, which definitely do not use that for foundation, and this is a tapered highlighter. So the tapered highlighter is actually really nice. It's very soft. I love Luxie brushes. I do like their aesthetic. I am actually going to keep the tapered highlighter. I really do like that one, so I'm going to put that away. And then let's see, for the Precision Foundation, it's pinched here. I just don't really use this one, so I'm gonna pass this one on. Alrighty guys, this one really breaks my heart here. This is the MAC 125 SE. This was a limited edition brush, and you can see it has 2 different sets of bristles on this brush. I bought it because I was looking for something to do kind of like a contour on my cheek, but it's just too fat, it's too chunky, it's not precise enough. I really didn't use it as much as I thought I would, and I spent a lot of money on it, and I am actually going to again clean it up and pass this on because it's just not working for me, even though I love the handle. It's so pretty. Alrighty guys, we have another BH Cosmetics. This is the 135, and this one, it has a really weird like a hole, like it kind of dips in the middle here, and I really don't like that. So for me, while this could have been a smaller foundation brush, it doesn't work with the dip in here, so I'm going to clean it up and pass this on. And this is another BH Cosmetics 137. It's more angled, and again, very tight, so you could use this for foundation, but again, I just have others I prefer to use. It's a little too small for me for that, so I'm going to clean this one and pass it up. This is a 117. Again, it's an angled flat top kabuki. You certainly could use this for foundation. Again, I just have so many, I am going to pass it along, even though I do like this particular one. Alrighty guys, this is another Ollie and Olivia brush, very similar to that powder brush I showed you. It is a blush brush, very nice precision, very nice and small. I do like it, so I'm going to keep this one. Alrighty guys, next up we have a Wet n Wild brush. This is like one of their unicorn handles, really, really pretty and really nice kind of like small tapered brush here. This is nice and soft and fluffy. I was using this to apply my highlighter, but I'll be honest, I have another Wet n Wild brush that's even smaller and more precise that I prefer. I do not want to get rid of this, but at the same time, I just know that I won't be using it, so I am going to pass this to a friend. Alrighty guys, I bought a Morphe set of brushes and I do not like the hairs on this brush. It just doesn't, they're very kind of coarse and I don't like that for this particular type of brush, so I'm definitely going to be passing this one up. I don't even know if this one has a number on it, so yeah, gonna go get rid of this one. I don't like it. I do not use it. Alrighty guys, this is an e.l.f. like stipple brush and I really wanted to like it. I was trying to apply cream products with it. It just never really worked for me though, so I'm gonna pass this on. This is another brush I think I got in one of my Ipsy subscriptions. It's called Me. It's very soft, but it's pinched here. I don't really know what to use this for, so I'm gonna go ahead and pass it along. Alrighty guys, we have another clear e.l.f. brush. This is a very thin tapered brush. Again, I thought this was going to be helpful for chiseling out my contour, but it's just too densely packed. It just moves the product around too much, so I'm going to pass on this. You guys, another Morphe brush. This is a blush brush. Again, I just don't like the bristles on it, and I have a lot more blush brushes I like, so I'm passing. And guys, this is a very similar BH Cosmetics one. This is a 136, and again, it's got that weird like domed portion to it, which I just don't like, so I'm going to pass this along. And guys, this is another great blush brush from Wet n Wild. This is not a bad line if you're starting out. Very soft bristles, but again, I've used this. I like others better, and I'm going to go ahead and pass it off. Next up, we have another Wet n Wild brush. I thought these were going to be really cool, but again, they have that weird dip in them, and I'm just not a fan of that dip. It doesn't work for foundation, and I'm passing on this. You guys, here is another Luxie. It's a 524T. It's a very weird stippling brush. I don't think I used it because I don't get it, and I really don't like it. It's just it's not densely packed enough for me to use it the way I think I should use it, so it's short. I'm just going to kind of get rid of it. Again, here's another Morphe brush that has that same weird brush type. It doesn't stipple the way I would like it to, so I'm going to pass. Another weird stippling brush from Wet n Wild. I just don't like these types of brushes, so I'm passing. And again, this is another e.l.f. stipple brush. I just don't like these brushes. I don't think they work that great. Now here we have an e.l.f. small tapered brush. I actually really like this for under eye like powder, so I am going to keep this. I like how it's tapered. It's small but medium. Alrighty guys, another very pinched brush from e.l.f. Again, I really wanted that. I was looking for the perfect contour brush. I just don't use this for that type of stuff, so I am going to pass on this. Alrighty guys, so these are all of the brushes I'm getting rid of for face brushes, and then if we look over here, I am only keeping 3 powder brushes, 1 foundation brush, and 1 blush, 1 highlighter, and then 1 small tapered. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think that's pretty good. So I'm getting rid of all these and keeping these for face. And now we're going to move on to the face or eye brushes. Alrighty guys, so we're going to start from left and go through all of these eye brushes, and we're going to get rid of quite a lot. So I'm going to start over here on this side. Alrighty, so let's talk about these 2 Morphe ones first. These are, again, really just dense, like, contour brushes, and I don't really like these. This one's straight across, this one's rounded. They're just too tight and they do not do what I like them to do, so they're going to be passed on. Alrighty guys, this is the perfect to me contour brush. This is the Sonia Kashuk in the number 30. It is soft, it's not too dense, but it's dense enough, and I love the handle, really nice to hold. This is my favorite contour brush if I'm really doing a tight contour, so I am going to be keeping this one. Alrighty guys, this is an e.l.f. Professional Foundation brush. I do not apply my foundation this way, but I am going to keep this for masks because I do think I want to test it out using application of masks because this is a very dense brush, so I am going to keep it for that purpose. Next up, we have another very thin flat brush from BH Cosmetics. It's a 102. It's soft, but it's dense, and I just don't use this brush for anything, so I'm going to pass it along. This is the e.l.f. bronzing brush, and I just don't like it. I think it's very cheaply made. The brush bristles are really rough, so I'm going to pass this. Next up, I got this in my Ipsy. This is the SL Miss Glam. I know she's really popular for her brushes. I do not think they're great quality. I think they're very cutely designed with the little gems, but I just don't use this, so I'm going to pass it. Next up, we have a Luxie 205. This is their tapered blending brush. I actually really like this. It's a nice rose chrome barrel, and then you have like a pink handle. I really do like it. I think it's a well-made brush, so I am going to keep that one. Next up is a very similar blending brush. This is also a good one from Wet n Wild. However, I have so many, I am going to go ahead and pass this along, but this is a great blending brush from Wet n Wild if you are looking for affordable options. Next up, we have Morphe. Again, this is more of a pinched fluffy brush, and I like these bristles on this one. I think this one's actually kind of nice, but I just don't use these pinched ones very often, so I'm going to go ahead and pass this one. This one is a little bit more of the same thing. It's more of a smaller blending brush, and I am going to keep it because it's completely round and just kind of a medium-sized blending. The next one is quite a larger brush. Again, I think it's just too big for what I need, so I'm going to go ahead and pass on that one. This again is another too large of a blending brush. It's the BH Cosmetics 140. I just don't think I'll use it. It's too long for me, too big for my eye basically. This is the 12 BH Cosmetics brush. Again, this one doesn't seem as high quality as the others, so I'm gonna pass. This is a 101 from BH Cosmetics. This one I don't think I disliked. I just, again, don't really have a use for it. I've got too many of these. Next up, we have another one from, I want to say this is, yeah, Farrah. And again, this is a nice, this is a cute one actually. I think I actually liked the size and the shape of this. However, I just, like I said, I have enough. I do not need any more of these. This is another BH 141. Again, it's tapered, it's pinched in here. I just don't use it. It's too big. It's like too thick to be an eyeshadow brush. I'm not sure what people use it for, but I'm gonna pass. This is another really nice, again, I love the bristles from BH Cosmetics 139, but it's like a little tiny flat top. I really don't know, again, what I'm supposed to use this for, so I'm gonna pass. Now, this one is a little bit nicer. This is from Spectrum. This is from their nice brush line. It's, again, another flat top short one. I really don't know what I'm supposed to use this for, but I do like this particular set, so I am gonna keep this one for now. You guys, another SL Miss Glam brush. This one has like some pink crystals and a pink barrel, a little pink tipped. Again, this one was not terrible or anything, but I just don't need it, so I'm gonna pass. Moving down the line, we're gonna move on to, this is an old MAC brush. You can barely see it, but I have it here. It's a pinched, again, they have good quality bristles. This is a very thick bristle, but I actually don't use this, so I'm gonna pass it. You guys, this is another Wet n Wild. This is their P15. I don't like this one. It's too dense, and I'm not really sure what people use it for. It doesn't blend well, and it's not a packing shadow brush, so I'm passing on it. This one is a big BH Cosmetics 118 brush. I used to put this in the corner when I'm doing eyeshadow, but it's too thick, it's too big, it's not precise enough, so that one's going. This is a 122. This is actually a nice, like, tight little round brush. Again, a little too big, not precise enough for me, so I'm gonna pass on it. You guys, this is something from Firma. It's a 202. It's a really, like, fluffy, angled eyeshadow brush. It's too thick for me, though, so I'm gonna pass. Again, we have another flat top little brush here. It's a 120 from BH. I just don't like these, so I'm gonna pass on them. This is the same one, except it's angled from BH. It's a 121, so I'm passing. This right here is a really tiny professional defining eye brush. I actually used to love this. This was perfect for popping into the corner of my eye. I might hold on to this one a little bit longer because this just is a really good at putting right into the corner very tightly if you have like a highlight you want to do. So I'm going to hold on to this. Next up, guys, we have another kind of fluffy angled one from BH Cosmetics. This is the 104. Again, this is really soft, really nice, but it's just a little too fluffy for what I use these days. Alrighty guys, this is the Spectrum B04 brush. Again, a little bit thick for my taste, but I have a hard time getting rid of this collection because it's so pretty. It's got a pretty oil slick, so I'm going to keep it. Alrighty guys, this is actually a nice shadow brush. This is the BRC N02 brush. I don't even know where I got this, probably in an Ipsy, but this is a really good eyeshadow brush, so I'm gonna keep it. Next up, we have a BH119. Again, a really tight eyeshadow brush. It's a little too thick, I'm gonna pass. And then these are two of the same. These are eyeshadow brushes from e.l.f. I really, really like these. These have been so good over the years to pack on eyeshadow. I may keep one and get rid of another. I'll have to look and see how many eyeshadow brushes I end up with because I don't really need that many, so we'll see. Alrighty guys, next up I've got another Spectrum brush. This is a really thick, again, thick like packer brush, I guess. Like, I just don't know what people are using this for, but I can't get rid of it yet. It's just a pretty set. These next two I think come from the same company, Royal and Langnickel. I don't like the double-ended, and they're just okay, so I'm just gonna pass on them because I don't really use them anymore. You guys, this is another nice eyeshadow brush. This is from that e.l.f. line. I might pass this because, again, I just have so many eye brushes, and I don't necessarily like the clear wand anymore. Again, I'm going for a different style these days. This is a smudge brush from e.l.f. Again, really nice. If you're looking for affordable smudge brush, I may hold on to that just to see if I need it. And you guys, this was a really nice eyeshadow brush from BH Cosmetics, but my dog got a hold of it when she was a puppy, so I'm gonna pass on it, but I did like the 103 from BH Cosmetics. Alrighty guys, we're getting down to the last bit here. This is another shadow brush from e.l.f. Again, I kept the other, so I'm going to go ahead and pass this one. This one is, let's see, I can barely read this. I think it's called a crease shadow. I don't know who this is. I think it's from Crown Brushes. Now, this was a nice quality brush, but I don't like the dual end, so I'm going to pass on that. Now, this is another one from SL Miss Glam. I actually think this is a really cute one. It's got two different colored crystals, and I like the double tipped color here with the blue and purple, but I just don't use it, so I'm going to pass on it. This next one is a Wet n Wild brush. This is another kind of like packer eyeshadow brush. I already have one though, so I am going to pass on it. I would only use this for like shadows that are really soft that need to be packed on, so I'm going to pass on that. This is a great, again, regular eyeshadow brush from Wet n Wild. Again, I have so many. I am going to pass on it because I just don't need that many. This one is from All Over. This is the Elizabeth Mott eyeshadow brush. Again, just not my favorite. I think I got it in an Ipsy. I'm going to pass. This, guys, is another really tiny brush from Wet n Wild. I was going to use it to smudge eyeshadow on my lower lash line, but it's just too dense. It's actually not good for what I wanted it to do, so I'm going to pass on it. And guys, this is another old e.l.f. brush. This is their blending eye brush. I actually liked this back in the day, but it's just too big for me now. I use a lot more precise brushes for my eyes, so I'm going to pass on this one. This is another Wet n Wild one from that chrome line. This is the P10. Again, it's too dense. I do not like the bristles on this chrome line, so I'm going to pass on it. This, you guys, is another Tarte brush, and just one that I don't like. I don't like the bristles on it. It's very thin and flat, and it just doesn't do anything for me. This is an eyeliner brush from e.l.f., but I've never used it. I don't really like the shape of this. I don't think I would use that at all. But speaking of eyeliners, this is probably my favorite eyeliner brush of all time. This is a brush from Luxie. It is their small angled brush in 215. This is probably one of my favorites. It's just really thin and gets right in your eye. If you want to put a lower lash line or a little eyeshadow on your lower lash line, love that. So definitely keeping. This is also very similar to that. It's another Luxie 221. It's a flat definer brush, so kind of the same thing. I'm going to hold on to it. I haven't used it that much, but I am going to try it. Also, another very thin one from Morphe, and again, a little bit bigger than the Luxie. Actually, let's compare really quickly so we can see, because I only need a really tiny one. Do you see the difference? Luxie is a little bit tinier, so I'm going to keep the Luxie one and get rid of the Morphe one. And then here is one from Spectrum. Again, Spectrum's a little bit nicer quality than Luxie, or they're very similar actually. But as you can see here, even the Luxie is slightly smaller, but this is actually a little bit thinner tipped. So I'm going to keep both of those. Again, that pretty one I just can't let go. This is an odd one from BH. It's a 142. It's really, really hard and dense. And again, I don't know what people use it for, so I'm passing on that one. This is a concealer brush from e.l.f. I actually love this for my my nails, but this is an old one, so I'm going to go ahead and pass this. I actually clean my nail with acetone to get around my cuticle, so I don't use this for makeup anymore. And here is another really good precision eye brush from Wet n Wild. Again, let's compare it to the Luxie, because my Luxie one really has been my favorite. So as you can see, the Luxie brush is actually I think the Wet n Wild's slightly smaller, and I definitely got a lot of use out of the Wet n Wild one, but I do like the Luxie more, so I'm going to pass on the Wet n Wild. And then guys, we have a really tiny pointy brush here from BH. It's the 105. Again, I just don't use these types of brushes anymore. This is a really, really thin one. It's a 106, and again, I just don't use those types of brushes. They're too tiny. This is an eyeliner brush from Tarte. Again, I just don't use gel liners, so I'm going to pass on that one. The e.l.f. angled one is also the same thing, so I'm going to pass on those. And then this is a really, again, very not useful brush from Spectrum, A15. It's really pointy, and again, I don't use it. I'm going to pass on this one. I'm not going to use this brush, so I'm going to be strong. This one is another e.l.f. one, and it's a lip defining brush, and look how messed up that is. No, we're just going to toss that. That's not happening. It's done. e.l.f. is a great one to start out with, but again, you're going to move on from that, you know, after you move out of your beginner phase. It's just, there are some good ones to keep around. This is a really like hard tipped one. I don't know what this was for. It's a smudge eye brush. I'm just going to get rid of it because the tip is too hard to do any type of real smudging. This is a great eyebrow brush, but I've got some others, so I'm going to toss this from e.l.f. This is another eye brush comb or eyebrow brush comb, but I'm going to toss it. I just don't need it. So guys, let's take a look at what we kept and what we're going to throw out. Alright guys, these are all the face ones we are going to get rid of here in this pile, and then in this little tiny cup, this is actually what I'm going to be keeping. So I think you guys, I did pretty good on my brush declutter. I'm actually pretty proud of myself. So let's look at it all in total. Alrighty guys, so this is all of the face and eye brushes that I am going to get rid of. That is a decent pile. And then on this side, this is what I'm going to be keeping. I am going to be keeping this pretty set from Spectrum. I'm also going to be keeping my ColourPop set. I have a very small group of eye brushes here that I'm going to be keeping. A lot, again, from Spectrum, a few from Morphe. Luxie obviously had some good ones. There were some e.l.f. ones as well in here. And then this is going to be the face ones, foundation and blush and contour that I'm keeping. You guys, overall, like, not bad. I think that was a really, really good declutter for me, so I am proud. Alrighty guys, so I hope you enjoyed that brush declutter. I honestly feel really proud that I was able to get rid of so many, and it wasn't nearly as painful as I thought it would be. So that is good. Again, we are still going to have a ton of declutter series. Next up is going to be lipsticks, and then we still have tons more on my vanity to get through. This is just the stuff that was on my vanity that needed to be cleaned, and then we're going to get into all of the different towers on my vanity, because a lot of stuff have to be really cleared out. We have to get rid of the old stuff and make room for new things. So I hope you guys are enjoying this series, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye!